me is for Salisbury Beach State Campground, and distance from our campground to the beach. I'm not going to, because you won't be able to hear me because it's really loud with the waves and the wind, but I'll show you around our campground. And we'll start by going over here and saying hello to Katarina, who is lying in the hammock. Let's see, Katarina, what are you doing there?
Reading a book.
She's reading a book. What book are you reading? Can you hold it up? It's called Greek Heroes by Rick Riordan. And so this hammock, she actually slept in it last night, but it was a little bit cold, so.
It was very cold.
Yeah. So I guess she won't be sleeping in it again. So it's hung on this tree here, and this tree has really sharp needles. If you walk into them, they really hurt. But it has really strong branches, and so that's where our hammock is. And coming over here, we have Katarina's bicycle here with her helmet that she wears on her head to keep her head safe. And let's see, let's bring you over to our camper. So we have what's called, the camper that we have is, and I'm not sure if I can see if anybody's writing because I can't see that on the mobile phone, but okay, I see Vignesh, thank you. The campground is located in Massachusetts by the ocean, by the Atlantic Ocean, north of Boston. We have what's called a hybrid. So it's a hard camper and the sides will pop down and we can have, these are beds over here. So it has a basically we can tow it. I'm not sure if you can see because a lot of our stuff underneath is the things that we use and we store it underneath, but we can hook this up to my Forerunner. So that is, and good morning, Yuri. Good morning. Thank you for joining, Yuri. So this behind us is our camper, and I'm going to show you inside of this. We've had this from, I think I bought this in 2018. I bought it used. So I'm going to show you inside. We're going inside. And inside, this here is where I sleep. So it pops down and it's a bed over there. I think the weather is sunny. Yes, it is. And I hope you can hear me because the internet's not great here. So let me know if you can't hear me. I'm hoping that you can. I'm using my mobile phone and I really don't know how the internet is. But we have some storage up here, some more storage here. Over here, this is a table that converts to a bed. So usually Katarina sleeps here, but it converts, it's a table right now and we can convert it. The table lowers and the cushions all become a bed. And over here, this over here is a bathroom, but I don't use it. I just use it as storage. So you can see that it's a bathroom in here, but we just use it for storage. It even has a shower. But if you look inside of the shower, let's see, can you see there's storage? So I don't use it because they have bathrooms here and I don't want to deal with cleaning that. Okay, so you are able to hear my audio. That's awesome. Thank you. Step over here. And this has a stove. I don't usually use it because it gets really hot in here. But if it's raining outside, we can actually cook on the stove. Has a microwave and has more storage. It's kind of messy, but more storage here. It has a radio so that you can listen to the radio, and it does sink. I don't usually use the sink because I don't want to deal with trying to drain out the water from this thing. It also has air conditioning. It gets hot at the beach, so this is nice. I don't have it running now because you probably would have trouble hearing me if I had that running. So that is our camper. It sleeps probably 2 people can sleep on this bed. One person probably, or 2 small children could sleep here, and probably 2 small, it's about 6 comfortably if you have children. So that's our camper, and I'll show you around the campsite. Let me know if you have questions, and please hit the like button. So let's see, well, nice that you're located in your own area. So there's, I don't know how many campsites, there might be a couple hundred campsites here. Hello, Rocky. So each person, you can see on the other side of me, I'm going to show you, there's a nice Airstream camper. So the campsites, I'm not sure, they're probably 20 feet by 30 feet. And what time is it? It's 10 a.m. right now. 10 a.m. in the morning. We got up really early and watched the sunrise. The sun rose at 5:30 a.m. So we had to get up really early. So if you're new here, let me know where you're from, and please hit the like button. So over here, I'll show you. We have a little fire pit, so we can sit around the fire in these chairs and make s'mores with these things here. We can use these and put marshmallows on them and use graham crackers and chocolate to make something called s'mores. So we like to do that at nighttime. And there are videos, if you look on my YouTube channel, there's videos that show you the beach and I think I have a video that has some aerial footage of this campground too, that a friend of mine took. So over here I have like an outdoor sink that I bought so I can wash the dishes here. And there's also a grill that comes with the campground, but I never use it. It uses charcoal. So, and just to show you, we also have a place to hang our clothes here. So, okay, Rocky, you just got the notification. So I was not sure when I decided to do this live if people could hear me. Yeah, that's a barbecue grill. I also have another grill too that I bought here just to show you. This is a grill that can also be a, let's see, can you see it? So I can cook on here, I can grill on here, and that's where I'll do my outdoor cooking. So now, when I decided to do this, I wasn't sure if the internet would be very good, but I'm told by Yuri that you can hear me. So anyway, we're camping. We're camping for 2 weeks. Yeah, that's a gas grill that I just showed you. And the other one that belongs to the campground is, that one is like charcoal. So how many people can be located on the campground? So there can be 4 people technically, 2 adults and 2 children, but many people have more than 4 people on their campsites. It is full capacity right now, but we're not allowed to have visitors because of COVID. But for each campground, each campsite, which is like my site where I showed you, is like 20 by 30 feet. I believe the rules are 2 adults and 2 children, but there are many people that have more than that on their campsite. This is a state campground, so it's run by the state of Massachusetts, and there's lots of state campgrounds here. I don't know how many state campgrounds in Massachusetts, but there's a lot of them. I love this one because it's walking distance of the ocean, and over that way is walking distance of a river. So we have the Merrimack River that would flow into the ocean. So you can go to the beach by the river, or if you go that way, you can go to the ocean. And at nighttime, you can actually hear the ocean here. It's about a 10-minute walk or a 5-minute bike ride. But at night, when there's not all the noise of other campers talking and stuff, you can actually hear those ocean waves. Well, you know, I would show you the beach, but you wouldn't be able to hear me, and the internet signal is not very good at the beach. So I do have other videos on my channel about the beach and showing the beach, but if I go over to the beach, first of all, it's about a 10-minute walk from here. It's so loud you would not be able to hear. And no, vaccinations are not required to stay at the campground. The United States is kind of weird. We have really high vaccination rates, especially in Massachusetts, but they don't have, a lot of places are not requiring. They are highly encouraging people to be vaccinated. And the rules are you're supposed to have a mask on if you're not vaccinated, but there's nobody asked to check that. So that's a thing. Like, we see children that are definitely not vaccinated because you have to be at least 12 years old to be vaccinated, and there's quite clearly children that are not vaccinated, especially when they're going inside, that are not wearing masks. If you're new here, please hit the like button and let me know where you're from. So we're camping here. We came here on Sunday, and so this is our 3rd day. We had 2 nights here, and last night Katerina slept in the hammock. So 2 nights sleeping here so far, and we are staying all the way until the 15th, I believe. And state campgrounds, you're allowed to stay at each campground for a total of 2 weeks. So how many days will you have? How many days? So I think we're staying for 15 days, 14 nights. You're allowed to stay at each campground for 14 nights. They have that rule so everyone has a chance. This is a very popular campground. It's booked. You can book it 4 months ahead of time. And when I went to book it, it was basically, it was getting filled up. 9 a.m. it opened up and they were filling up all the sites. And do I have free Wi-Fi? No, there's no free Wi-Fi. It's a state campground, It's bare minimum what they give you. They do have water and electric at each site, but it's not a private campground. Private campgrounds will usually either have free Wi-Fi, or sometimes they might have Wi-Fi that you pay $5 a day for good Wi-Fi. The problem with free Wi-Fi that I found is that everybody's trying to use it at once, so it doesn't work very good. But to answer your question, there's no free Wi-Fi here. Right now, I'm using my mobile data for my plan, and apparently it works good because you can hear me. So do you have questions? Let me know if you have questions. So what do we do here? This morning we got up really early at 5, actually before 5 in the morning, and we rode our bikes over to the beach and we watched the sunrise, and then we had breakfast. This morning we had a simple breakfast of just cereal and milk, but yesterday I grilled pancakes. You're coming from Kazakhstan. I've been saying your country wrong forever. It's Kazakhstan. And you say, oh, it went away. I'm not sure. Okay, it says that you have unusual summer heat. Do we have the same? Actually, this summer's been kind of cold and rainy, but right now it's warm. And let me see. I'm not sure why okay, and Rocky said, my neighbor has turned off Wi-Fi, so I'm also using, so you share Wi-Fi with a neighbor. That's a good idea to kind of save some money. So yes, I'm using mobile data right now. There's no Wi-Fi here. When I'm going live at home, I'm using my internet at home, and I usually don't use Wi-Fi to go live. I plug into the Ethernet. So, oh, I think is a truck. Maybe you will. Okay, so I need a truck or a Toyota 4Runner to tow this. This camper, when I bought it, I had a van that could tow up to 4,000 pounds, but the van, when I tried to hook up this camper, it went straight to the ground, and you just can't tow that way. So I needed a truck that can tow at least, I believe my Toyota 4Runner can tow at least 5,000 pounds, and this camper behind me I think is about 3,500 pounds. So when I bought this, I needed to get another vehicle. I had to buy a used vehicle that had a stronger engine to be able to tow this because it's heavier. I used to have something that was called a pop-up, and what that was, it would be half the size of this when it was cranked down, and when you got to your campsite, you would crank it up, and then you would pop out your beds and stuff. So this one is not a pop-up. This one stays hard, and I like it because I can load the things I want. I put stuff in the refrigerator and load things into it before we come to the beach. So okay, you think something about a network issue. Yeah, so any case with the internet, like I tested this out yesterday to see live. I did an unlisted live and I sent it to a friend to see how it sounded, but it looked like it sounded pretty good. Now for fuel, I bought firewood. You're supposed to get firewood from the campground because we have something called the Asian beetle that has been attacking our trees. So you need to get local firewood, so that way you're not bringing wood from far away that could be transporting beetles that could then infect other trees. Now for the gas grill, I filled my tanks at a local store, Walmart, that I believe is all over the world, and that's where I got my fuel for that. But for the firewood, you need to buy them from the campground because we don't want to bring our wood. Like I have wood at home, but I can't bring that wood with me because I could be transporting. Well, yeah, there's rules, and sometimes they're crazy, but those beetles actually are really bad. They end up killing our trees, so we don't really want to spread those beetles further than where they are. They're a lot in central Massachusetts, and we don't want to spread them to other parts. So they made these rules probably about 10 years ago when those Asian beetles started to be a real problem. So yeah, there are rules. Sometimes I think it's a little crazy that I can only buy the wood from the campground, because why can't I just buy it from down the street where obviously the wood came from Salisbury where I'm at, but they are probably also trying to make extra money by selling me the wood that they have. And that way the campground knows that the wood came from here and that I didn't bring it from home. So yeah, there's rules. You're not supposed to have any alcohol here. And they have state police because it's a state campground. State police will patrol and make sure that there's no rowdy parties going on. So it's in a way that's nice because it's a family place where you can feel like it's safe for your children. You don't have to feel like people are having rowdy parties with a lot of alcohol. I can let my daughter ride her bike and not be worrying about you know, if there's going to be people riding that might have been drinking and stuff, driving their trucks and stuff. So how many people have you had? So I've invited some friends to come. I'm hoping my friend will come and visit for a few days. And my son is actually working right now, so he's not here, but he'll be coming next week. And let me see, I'm trying to read everything. I haven't done this from the mobile, so okay, so then, I saw your YouTube video at the airport security. You saw that somebody was stopped for a can of pickles. Now, so airport security, you're only allowed to bring containers that have less than 3 ounces of liquid. So if you're bringing pickles, yeah, you wouldn't be able to bring that because that's going to be more than 3 ounces. I've heard of somebody actually that was bringing these, like, they were cupcakes with cream on top. And because the cream was going to be more than 3 ounces, they weren't allowed to bring those cupcakes. They're from a company called Wicked Good Cupcakes. They're out of Boston here. And that was on the news, I think, I'm not sure how many years back. But yeah, there's really strict rules here because we're not allowed to bring liquids and stuff. Big Nesh says, how is your government may be allowed permission to live in camps? I'm not sure what you're saying because it disappeared on me. I think you're talking about, okay, so I think you're referring to what's going on with the COVID and stuff and maybe the Delta 19 variant. Now, I think things are going to change. This campground actually only allowed half capacity until very recently, and they've opened up to full capacity. But every state runs their own rules. We are United States, but we have different rules. So camping can be somewhat expensive, but it's cheaper than staying in a hotel for sure. So this campground, as it's a state campground, it doesn't have like a fancy pool and all kinds of fancy amenities. It's less, like it's probably about $30 a night. While if you stay at a private campground with pools and all kinds of fancy, like I don't know, some jacuzzis and stuff like that, they're probably $50 or $60 a night. This campground is a little bit more expensive because it's by the ocean, but we have campgrounds that are maybe $10 or $15 a night, and they're more expensive if you want water and electricity. This campground, every site has water and electricity now, so I think all the sites are the same price. I paid probably $500 for 2 weeks, but the site has water and electricity. So I think that's pretty good. Basically, that's all my cost of camping because I don't really count the food because we would buy food anyway. So this camping trip, this is our vacation for the summer. We might go someplace else. I have the month off from work, the month of August. So that was our plan to go camping. So are we going to be bored without TV? Well, we don't really watch TV. My daughter does play a lot of video games, and she's not playing video games. I didn't allow her to do that here. She's reading, she's bike riding. It's a chance to kind of get away from the internet, get away from television. So I'm not bored. We walk, we go to the beach, we go swimming. I think it's a good time to kind of like step away from the internet, step away from television, step away from video games and all of those things. And so, yeah, I don't think, Katerina, are you bored not having games and stuff like that?
Kind of, but
She's kind of bored, but not really is her answer. But she gets on, she rides her bike and she walks over. Yeah, I don't really feel bored to be without, in fact, it hasn't even bothered me. I found that I'm not going to pick up my phone because I'm just have things to do here. Where if I'm at home, I'm picking it up to check, did somebody send me a message or whatnot? So I find that I'm not bored. And yes, my daughter usually is using her tablet more than I'd like her to when we're at home. But when we're here, I didn't allow her. First of all, the internet is not really available. So she would have to actually use my phone as a hotspot, and that wasn't happening. And I really wanted a chance to just to step back from all of these devices and really not use them for the 2 weeks. She also went to camp for 2 weeks where she didn't have any electronics. It was camping in the woods in a cabin, and that was also another chance to step back from all the electronics. I also, like, another thing, I have this like canopy thing over here that I hung lights on. I like to do that at night. It's kind of pretty. So Lori says that Yuri says that I ever go to the Grand Canyon. I believe it just disappeared on me again. So I did go to the Grand Canyon. I didn't camp there, but I did stay in a cabin at the Grand Canyon. It's beautiful. Um, I haven't been there for a long time. I'd love to bring my kids there, go camping or stay at a cabin. That's something to do in the future. Um, let's see. More questions about the Delta variant. I think things are going to change here, but I think what has changed is that the CDC, which is the Center for Disease Control, in May they said that people that are vaccinated didn't have to wear their masks when they are inside, and now they said people that are vaccinated should wear their masks when they're in areas that have high transmission rates. So that's the only thing that's changed. So they have like stores that say people that are vaccinated should be, they don't have to wear their mask, and people that aren't vaccinated need to wear it, but clearly people aren't following that rules, because right now we can only have people that are vaccinated that are 12 and over, and their kids, I see kids in the store all the time that don't have masks on, so clearly they're not vaccinated. We wear masks when we go to the bathroom here, when we go to the stores, because I don't want to catch, I'm vaccinated, but I don't want to catch a Delta variant and pass it on to my daughter who's not vaccinated. So we're probably the only ones walking into these bathrooms wearing masks, but we just don't want to take the chance. So that's that. So you were talking about the Grand Canyon. It's beautiful. That is, if we were to drive there, that'd be super long. I would not want to bring this camper there, because this camper, when I tow it, I feel like almost like I'm pulling it. It's heavy. So if I were to do that, I'd probably want to fly there and probably rent a cabin. I would not want to tow this thing across the country, at least not with my vehicle. And if I got anything bigger, it would use way more gas. But I definitely would love, my kids, both of my kids have not seen the Grand Canyon. I mean, I didn't get to see the Grand Canyon until I was 18. So there's still time in their lives to see it. And that might be something we do a couple years from now, is to fly there and maybe go to the Grand Canyon, and all of that area of the Southwest has very beautiful campgrounds. Grand Canyon, there's Mesa Verde, which are these lovely cliff dwellings that the Native Americans built. There's the Rocky Mountain National Park in Colorado. Utah has Bryce Canyon and Zion National Park. So I went with a trip with my father, and we did a bunch of different national parks all in that area, like Utah, Nevada, Colorado, and New Mexico, I believe. So a bunch of national parks there. They're beautiful, and definitely I would highly suggest, if you ever get a chance to come to the United States, go to the Grand Canyon. It is one of the most beautiful things you'll ever see, and I don't think there's anything else like it. There's other similar canyons that, like Bryce National Park was made more from wind, while the Grand Canyon was made by water. But I love that. One of my favorite episodes of the Brady Bunch, which dates me, right? They went camping in the Grand Canyon, and they rode down on donkeys to the bottom of the Grand Canyon, and they camped down there. But right now, camping in Massachusetts, where I live in Massachusetts, and I'm camping by the ocean. I love this campground because it's the only one that I know of that is right on the ocean. You can walk to the beach. You can walk over. It's even closer to walk to the river beach. So let's see. Vignesh says, I saw your daughter. So you know what? She actually slept last night outside and was actually pretty cold. She slept in the hammock, and she said she wanted to, so I let her do that. And she got cold last night because it got to 60 degrees, which I don't know what that is in Celsius, but it's 60 degrees Fahrenheit, and it was cold. So I don't think she'll sleep in the hammock again, but now it's getting really warm here. We'll probably go to the beach pretty soon. Maybe we'll go swimming. But at night, it's getting to 60 degrees Fahrenheit, and during the day, probably about 80 degrees Fahrenheit. So it's pretty warm during the day here. The campgrounds most of them have one tree that I think you can see the tree there, but some of the campgrounds don't have any. What about the campfire? So we have the campfire at night because it's too warm right now for the campfire right now at night. So yes, so I swam, and my daughter swam in the ocean, and I did. It's really cold. I think that the ocean water might be 59 degrees Fahrenheit. I don't know what that is Celsius, but it's super cold. I love swimming, but I could only swim for 20 minutes, and I usually will swim for over an hour. It was really hard to get into. It was like slowly put my toes in, then my ankles, and then slowly, maybe like 5 minutes later, I'm up to my knees. And eventually I did get in, but I really couldn't swim long in it because it was so cold. Um, the ocean water is very cold here in New England. My pool at home is about 80 degrees Fahrenheit, and I believe this ocean water here is like 59 degrees. So I couldn't stay in it. And I love swimming. I love swimming every day. And I love swimming in the ocean. I'll swim in it even if it's cold. But I was like getting too cold and shivering, so I had to get out. Um, so it's the Atlantic Ocean. We are probably an hour north of Boston here, and it's very close to New Hampshire. New Hampshire is about a 5-minute drive from here. So yeah, we're really close to New Hampshire. And like I said, it's a great campground because of the fact that other campgrounds you could go to, but you need to actually drive in your car to get to the beach. This one, we can just walk to the beach, and that's what I really love. That one of my favorite things is the ocean in the beach. I love the mountains, but the ocean that's where my heart is. I love the ocean. I love listening to the waves. I love looking at the ocean. This morning, like I said, we got up super early and went to watch the sunrise. So that was really beautiful. But let me know questions, things that you want to know about the campground. One of the things that happens here is windstorms come through, like thunderstorms. The winds get really strong. And so I've had a canopy like the one you see here that got pulled out of the ground, and I have, if you can see, I have stakes. I have rope and stakes. I've had them pulled out of the ground and blown over. So this one we've got stakes down like 1, 2, 3, all sides, and we have weights on it. Because when you have a storm, and even this, we have this kind of canopy that is attached to the camper, I will lower that because the storms are really intense by the ocean because you're getting all that wind from the ocean. Right now there's no storms in the forecast, but if there are storms, I will lower this canopy that's attached to my camper, and this other big canopy I have staked down at least 4 stakes, and I have weighted it down, and I actually added some extra pull downs, or what they call what are they called? They're basically ratcheting ropes, so that way there's hopefully no way that this canopy will get blown. But if we have really strong winds, no matter what I do, it's going to get blown because that covering for the canopy is like a sail in the wind. So if there's really strong winds, no matter how much I stake it down, it's going to get blown. But other questions, you have questions about this campground, questions about camping. Mosquitoes, actually, you know what? The mosquitoes aren't bad. There are these little kind of sand fleas that were biting, but I've only seen 1 mosquito since I've been here. I wonder if the campground if they treat this place, because I haven't really seen mosquitoes. I saw 1 this morning. I haven't had to use any bug spray. I haven't worried too much about, obviously I want to keep that door. My daughter just left it open, but if she leaves it open, mosquitoes aren't getting in. So we do have mosquitoes in Massachusetts. Sometimes we say they're our state bird, but I think the campground might actually spray for it. Vaccinations. So, right now I think the United States was the highest for vaccinations in the world, but now Europe is getting higher for the vaccinations. I think they're picking up for people getting vaccinations because of the Delta virus, but we are now lagging behind Europe. We were the highest in the world for vaccinations, and here where I live in Massachusetts, I believe is the highest state. We're at 70% of people fully vaccinated in Massachusetts. But other states like Louisiana, I believe, where there's a lot of anti-vaxxers, they're probably at 35%. So their amount of people getting sick with the virus is very high there. So we do wear the mask when we go inside, but I think the risk is fairly low here in Massachusetts, that if we didn't wear the mask, like the risk to my daughter is pretty low, but I don't want to take the chance. But in any case, so we're asking about mosquitoes. There are a lot of, like where I live at home, I like to swim at night. I have a pool, but if I swim at night, there's mosquitoes and actually wear like a mosquito net on my head. But here, I can be sitting by this fire. I'm not even bothering to use any bug spray because there doesn't seem to be any mosquitoes. And okay, what kind of TV shows do I like to watch? I don't watch a lot of TV, but when I do watch TV, I watch a lot of stuff in Spanish. So now I started watching things on Netflix that were made in English, but I changed them to Spanish because I'm trying to learn Spanish. Okay, so Yuri's asking me about the bathroom and shower. So there is bathrooms and showers in this camper van, but I don't really want to deal with cleaning it out. So I don't use it, and they have really, really nice bathrooms and showers at the campground. So I don't use it. And Rocky, I believe, is Rocky. Oh no, Ravi, thank you for joining. You asked how the weather is. It's warm. It's sunny, blue skies. It's a little hazy, but it's sunny and warm. I think you might be able to see, you can probably see the sun behind me. I'm not sure because this screen is hard to see, but it's really warm and sunny here. 80 something, which that is Fahrenheit. I don't know. If you know what that is in Celsius, let me know in the comments, but it's going to be warm enough to swim in the very cold ocean. So yeah, the weather is really nice. It gets cooler, about 60 degrees Fahrenheit at night, and it's a nice wind. It's usually pretty breezy here. Right now there's not much wind at all, but it's nice to have a breeze because it gets quite warm. The nice thing about these campsites is most of them have these trees, which I think you can see the tree. There's a hammock that we have hanging from the tree there. So that gives some shade, and I have the shade of this awning that's coming off of my camper. And I also have this canopy here to offer some shade at the campsite. The beaches have no shade. So if you go to the beach, there's no shade unless you bring your own tent. So I do spend a lot of time at the campground kind of cooling off. Do we have any cultural activities at the camp? So right now, because of COVID, I don't think they have any activities. They have a nature center, which sometimes they would have nature walks, or they would have like talking about things you can find at the waterfront, but it's closed right now. But in years past, they would have activities for the kids, like nature walks and kind of like, okay, this is a horseshoe crab and different things that you could find at the ocean. How many days, how will you feel in this camp? I can't read too well because of the brightness of this phone. So I feel really good right now at this campground. I feel relaxed. I don't feel, sometimes at home I get like tired at night or during the day, but I feel very relaxed here. It's a really good chance for me to kind of reset. So yeah, I mean, I think the first day setting up was tiring. Even though this camper, I really thought it would be super easy, just drive here, pop out the beds and stuff. But there's a lot that goes into kind of like taking this awning down, setting up this canopy there, and setting things up. So the first day can be a bit tiring, and the last day can be tiring. I usually have my son that helps me. He's 18, but right now he's working. So the first day, I think I was a little stressed and I was very, very tired. There's a lot of walking. I got 20,000 steps yesterday. I have a Fitbit here, and I got 20,000 steps. I don't know how much miles or kilometers that was, but that was a lot. Usually I'm at maybe like 8,000 steps a day. Oh, hello, Helena, from Siberia. So thank you so much. I hope you are enjoying it there. You are very chill. Thank you so much for joining. I had a conversation with Helena that is in my YouTube channel, so definitely check that out. She actually just went on a beautiful vacation. Siberia, I thought, was just this crazy cold place, but there's places that are warm and beautiful with beautiful kind of like seas there and mountains. Okay, so do I have electricity? Yes, I have electricity. I will show you again. I do have electricity. I'll give you another tour of this. I have electricity in here. There's lights in here. So there is lights here. There are outlets to plug things in. I'm not sure where they are. There's a radio here, and air conditioning here. There are plugs. If we come down here, there is a plug. We have an oven, but it doesn't work. I don't so bake anything. I have a little toaster oven here. So that is something my daughter wanted to bake it one time. And we have a microwave, so we have electricity here. And my daughter is chilling over there, so there's a curtain. You can kind of get a little privacy in the little bed area. And so yeah, it has electricity. I could hook up a sink, but I don't hook up water because I don't want to deal with like trying to empty out the tanks. If you don't empty them out properly in the winter, it freezes and the things can get cracked and stuff, so I don't bother using the water. So let's see, Vignesh says, in my childhood days, I think you're asking, did I camp? Yes, I camped. We usually camped in a tent in my childhood days. And I used to come here and camp in a tent, but with all of the crazy weather that we get at the ocean, the last times I camped at the ocean, we got wet. And Vignesh says, so the connection, are you talking about internet connection? The internet connection, I only have my mobile data, and so there's no Wi-Fi. I am able to, if you're asking about electricity, I can plug in, I can show you where that is. You can plug in from the back of this camper. It has a place to plug, and I'm hoping you can see this because I cannot see the screen at all. So I can plug that in, and I can actually, I do have a hose here. I've not turned it on, and I can show you over here where we plug in. Here is where we can plug in our camper for the electricity, and over there is the hose where you can plug water. And actually I bought this outdoor table that has a sink, so I just use I use this to wash my dishes and stuff. So there's my coffee cup that I still need to wash. So I just do the outdoor water stuff. I do that outside, and I don't use the water inside the camper. If you're new here, please hit the like button and let me know questions you have about camping. So you have I don't know if I have 5G or 4G. I think I just have 4G, but I think I have good enough internet signal because you can hear me and understand me, so that's good. I tested this out yesterday. I made a little video on YouTube, and I sent it to one of my friends to see how it came out, so I could know whether or not it was going to be possible to go live today. So apparently we have good enough internet here. But let's see, other things. Yeah, so the water, I don't want to use it inside of the camper because in the winter we get freezing weather and it could ruin the camper. Is there enough place? Okay, is the camping place entirely, Yuri says, is the camping place entirely empty when you arrive? No, this place, okay. Did you set it up all by yourself? So this campsite was empty, yes. The campground is very full though. Like every day people are coming and leaving. It's like completely full and booked for the summer. I had a friend help me set it up because my son is working, and I could set it up myself, but it's a lot of work to do. And so a friend of mine came and helped, and my son will come and help take it down when we are leaving. I could do it myself. Quite frankly, I don't know all the steps of how to set up this camper myself. When you sit in the seat, you have good connection, but when you're moving around, there are glitches. Okay, I didn't know that. Thanks for letting me know. So again, that's the thing. I didn't know about the internet, how it would be. So I'm sorry if you weren't able to hear anything. Let me know if you have questions about things that I showed you. But again, yeah, that's a possibility. I had no idea if the internet was only really good in one place, if it was really going to work well when I moved around. What I did show you when I walked around was where I could plug in this camper to each campsite has a place to plug in their camper for electricity, and each campsite has a place to run a hose to their campsite. And I showed you inside the camper has lights. It has a sink in there. It also has a bathroom, which I don't use. What is camping? Is the camping about? I'm not sure what your question is, but I was trying to show, I think I had a question about whether or not we had electricity inside the camper. Yes, we do. I showed you the lights and the places that we could plug in. There's a stove and a oven in there. Um, so what is the theme of camping? Well, basically today was just like I'm on vacation for 2 weeks, and it was just to really show you the campground. There are so are there a lot of insects that you need to be careful about? Well, mosquitoes definitely they carry. I think I was watching some video by Vertasium, and they kill like 4 million people a year, I believe. So mosquitoes, of course, you have to be careful with them because they transmit disease. But there isn't any other insects here that I have to be careful about. Across the bay, there is another island that gets these green head flies that sting and they really hurt. I don't think they transmit any disease though. They're just very painful, and they're just like, especially in the month of July, they sting and they just really hurt, but they don't cause like the itchiness after that a mosquito bite would cause. There's also these little tiny bugs that are, I think they're called sand fleas. They're not the same fleas that your animals would get, like dogs or cats, but they live in the sand, and they are tiny, tiny, look like tiny little dots, and they sting you, and but they don't cause like an itchiness after. But there's really not very many of them. I haven't had to use any bug spray at all here. So any other questions? Because I know when I was walking around, you weren't able to see anything or everything. So do you have 4G everywhere or in town only? I'm not really sure, Yuri, about that. I don't know that. I know we were talking in the United States that we're moving to 5G everywhere, but I don't know really. I don't know that every place has more than 4G. And I think the campground is lower because obviously when I walked around, it was a little glitchy. I'm not really an expert on that technology. I have to wear the sunglasses right now because the sun really bothers my eyes, but I can't see the screen. So Elena says, is the camping situated in the mountains or near a river? So Helena, I am near the ocean and a river. So on over there where I'm pointing beyond my camper, about less than a 5-minute walk, is a river called the Merrimack River, and it runs into the ocean. So I could walk along the beach of the river and walk all the way to the ocean. And that way, where I'm pointing this way, is the ocean, probably about a 10-minute walk. So we can walk to the ocean. So basically, the Merrimack River in the really, really olden days, people would take a boat from Lowell and different towns in the central part of Massachusetts, and they would take a boat and they would land here and they would go to the ocean, and they would live in little cottages. This whole area that I'm at was tons of cottages, but I don't know, like more than 100 years ago, there was a big fire and the cottages caught on fire because it spread. And so when that happened and those cottages were unfortunately destroyed, the state bought this land and they made it into a state park. So this was actually all private property, and people from the inner parts like Lowell and Lawrence and stuff, they would take boats. They would be like people with a lot of money because they had summer cottages here, and they would take boats down the river and they would land here and they'd spend the summer in these cottages. So this land was totally all filled up with cottages and not available to the public. So hello from, I can't see, Universal somebody. So thank you so much for joining. Let me know where you're from. I'm showing the campground. I can't see the chat as well to be able to say hello to everybody. Yeah, so those cottages were wooden houses, and that's why they burned. A lot of homes here in the United States are built of wood, and they were built very close together. So when a fire started, it would generally spread very quickly. There were lots of fires like that back 100 years ago, like there were fires in Chicago, very famous fires that unfortunately spread and like burned like lots of Chicago. There was fires here along this area that I'm sitting, and they destroyed all of those homes. And so Universal, I can't see your last part. You're from Cambridge, UK. Thank you. I'm finally got somebody from the UK. Thank you for joining. Hit the like button if you're new here, and I've showed everybody the inside of my camper. I'm not going to show again because when I walk around, the internet's not very good, and apparently it's glitchy. But I have this camper back here, which has these beds that pop out, and I'm camping by the ocean. The campground is situated where there's a river over there, the Merrimack River, that runs into the ocean, and the ocean is that way, and it's walking distance. It's very beautiful. Each campsite has these like beautiful trees. I think Helena was asking if I was by the ocean or by the mountains. Right now I'm camping by the ocean, and it's very, very flat here. So I can ride my bike. I have the bike over there. I can ride it very easily and not worry about a lot of hills because I get out of breath if there's lots of hills. So I can ride very easily to the ocean, or I could walk there. It only takes me less than 10 minutes to walk, and by bike probably less than 5 minutes to ride the bike over to the ocean. And we can go to the ocean and swim a bit. The water is very, very cold here, but when we get out, we can come back to the campsite. We can cook something. I've got a gas grill over there. I can cook inside, and if it's raining, I do cook inside. There's a stove inside. There's a microwave inside. There's electricity inside. I can run water inside, but I choose not to just because, you know, dealing with trying to clean out the water and stuff. Yuri, do you mean crickets? Crickets? So we do have crickets, I think, if they're talking about the bugs. Or are you talking about the game cricket? We do have crickets here. I don't think there's too many crickets at this campground, but there are crickets that you hear at night. If you're talking about the game cricket, we don't really play that too much as far as I know in the United States. But we do have like little bugs. Like I have crickets around my house, but I haven't heard crickets here. We do have lots of birds here, and that's basically what wakes us up in the morning. The fishing, yes, fishing is allowed. Fishing's allowed mostly on the river. It's not really allowed on the ocean part because that's where people are swimming. And so Yuri's asking about the ball game. Okay. So yeah, fishing is allowed on the river. People, before the ocean part opens for the day, which is 10 to 4, where they have lifeguards, people will be fishing on the ocean, but it's generally only allowed on the river part. And additionally, people can have their dogs here at the campground, and dogs are allowed at the river part of the where there's a beach there, but they're not allowed on the ocean part of the beach. So a lot of people will just go and spend the day. If they want to fish, they'll go over to the river. If they want to bring their dogs, they'll go over to the river beach. And in addition, the water is warmer at the river because think about it, the ocean is really big, so it would take longer to warm up. So will we play any games? Well, we have a game called bocce, and we might play that. It's a ball game. And what else did you ask? I'm trying to see. So it's a ball game. You could break a ball. You could break a window with a ball. So people don't really play any ball games that would have like any baseball or anything around here. There is fields over that way that they could play soccer or baseball or cricket. Here we have a game that's called bocce. It's kind of like balls that you throw along the lawn, and you have to hit a small bowl and get it into a goal. And we might play that. I brought it from home. I'm not sure. We haven't opened it up, but we might play that. But here at the campground, you wouldn't play too many games here. I believe there's horseshoe games that are set up for people to play over that way by the ocean. There's like some fields over there. And there is a playground over there with slides and swings and a whole climbing thing. So there's a playground that way. There's a pavilion if you wanted to have a big amount of people. So there's a pavilion that you could rent, or you could go there with a group of people and use the pavilion. And there's picnic tables for people that come for the day. If they want to have a meal there, they can use the picnic tables. If they're not camping, each one of these campsites come with a picnic table. They come with a fire pit. They come with a grill that they could use like charcoal for. That's what each campsite comes with. And most campsites have one tree, but not all campsites. But if you're new here, please hit the like button, and please let me know questions that you have about camping. Right now we're camping inside of this what this is called is a hybrid camper, because it's not, you don't have to crank it up, but it has beds that pop out. On the other side, the people there are using an Airstream camper where it's all one piece. Yuri says, what are you saying? I can't see. Okay, is the place guarded when you go for a walk? No, it's not guarded. There's nobody guarding anything. So I don't lock things up. There's really not any crime that happens here, but some people do. And then, does your daughter like camping, and what is your favorite activity? Yes, my daughter loves camping. Usually we only come here for 1 week, but this year we didn't go camping last summer because of COVID, and she asked if we could go for 2 weeks. So this is the first time that we're camping for 2 weeks. And there are dogs. Yes, dogs are here, but they are required to be on leashes, so you don't have to worry about any dogs. People can bring their dogs. They have to like register, but you don't have to worry about any dogs like attacking you or anything. So our favorite activity, I think, is swimming. What's your favorite activity here?
Breathing air.
Katerina says breathing air, but I would say that swimming might be one of her favorite activities. Um, we do like we do like bike riding, and we do like taking walks along the beach. So those are some of the things that we like doing. But I think my favorite and Katerina's favorite thing is swimming in the ocean, even though it's super cold. I'll take a couple more questions. Oh, Yuri says hello. Kat.
Hello.
Hello, she says. Kat is over there. She's going to take her bike. So she's going to ride around the campground. So there's each, and I do have a video in all the videos that I have that shows an aerial of this campground. So there's a bunch of like parallel roads on this campground with a bunch of sites. There might be 100 sites. I'm not sure. The sites go like each road is A through Z, but not all the alphabet. I think it goes A through H, and then it skips on to W, and then goes W all the way to X. So it skips the middle part of the alphabet. And I do have a video where a friend of mine did an aerial video of the campground. So you could see that if you look through my videos. I think it's called Camping at the Beach. So check that out if you want to see an aerial of what this campground looks like and how that river that I talked about, the Merrimack River, goes into the ocean. So the helmet is required for children under 12, and not everybody listens to that, but I enforce that with my children for safety. So it is required, but they do not enforce it. So other questions, somebody asked about any sort of guards. They don't guard your sites, but there are state police that check to make sure people aren't drinking on the sites, and that they aren't having any ruckus parties. But there's nobody that guards your sites. But I've left my camper completely unlocked. I hide things that need to be hidden, but my family has been camping at this campground for like over 30 years, and they've never had any problems. People are always willing to help you. Like when I came here and I was trying to back up my camper, which is really difficult. You always have to turn the wheel the opposite way than you would think. There's people that are helping you, people that are always willing to help. So I'll take a couple more questions, and then I'm going to sign out pretty soon because we'll probably head over to the beach. So we're just talking about camping. If you have more questions about this, I can't see very well to see who you are, but listen to me carefully. I'm not sure what you're saying, and I can't see your name. I'm sorry. This is really bright. So where am I from? I'm from Massachusetts, near Boston. So that's where I'm from, and we're camping in Massachusetts. I'm sorry, I can't see your name. Usually I'll try to like mention everybody's name. Yuri says, oh, we have to bring the trash. There is a place to bring all trash. There's big trash bins, and I put my trash all in a bag. I try to bring the recycle. They have a place to recycle and separate that stuff. And there is a place to put all your trash. And social, I'm not sure what social reform, I'm not sure what you're talking about, Rocky. So you're from India. I'm sorry, but I cannot see the screen to see who you are, but thank you for joining. Please hit the like. We're talking about camping, and I'm here camping for 2 weeks by the ocean. But the screen is not really easy to see, and the sun is bothering my eyes. So I'm really sorry if I can't mention your name. But we're talking about camping. Right now, I'm camping in a camper. So I'm listening to some rap. Okay. Oh, so what do I use to cook? Oh, so I have a outdoor grill, gas grill that maybe you can see there, and you might be able to see the propane tank. And I tend to camp, I tend to cook there. I also can cook inside. There's a gas stove inside that runs from propane. But mostly I try to cook outside because it gets really hot inside, although I can run the air conditioner in there. And noodles, try some noodles. Katarina loves ramen noodles. So we do have things like I have a little water heater that I can just, it's like a little teapot thing that plugs in. So she'll heat that up to heat some water for ramen. I also have like an electric griddle that I just plug in and I make pancakes on. You might be able to see it behind me on that table. So I made pancakes the first day on that. So, but I do have this gas grill there. It also has a top that I can make it into a barbecue. But it does have 2 burners, so I can cook pasta there. I can cook anything you would cook on a regular burner, but I can also put like a barbecue thing right on top and use it to barbecue burgers and anything you would barbecue. So I try to do most of the cooking outside because that way it doesn't heat up the inside of the camper. I have other things too, like there's a toaster oven back inside that I can use. So strange, oh, Yuri says, strange thing to me when you talk faster today. I'm sorry, I do end up talking a little fast on the lives. I'm sorry about that. So I'm sorry about that. I think I probably get a little nervous when I'm live and I tend to talk faster, but I guess you can think of this as advanced English. Good night. Good night. Yes, it's morning here, so good night. Thank you for joining. And let me see. So Vignesh says, would you like to play any games? Like I said, I have a game called Bocce that we could play. And food. Well, we've been cooking things like, yeah, we're going to cook burgers tonight. Last night we had chicken. We had quesadillas that I made on that griddle over there. I try to make things easy when I'm camping because it's just, I come here to relax. I do like making some fun meals, but I also try to make things that are easy. So I'll take 2 more questions and then I'm going to sign out. So you don't understand. I'm really sorry if I'm talking a little fast, but I do have a lot of videos where I talk slower. When I'm live, I think this is my, 4th time maybe going live, and maybe I get a little nervous. And I think when we are nervous, we might tend to talk a little fast. So thank you for reminding me of that. I assure you, I do have many videos that I speak slower, and your mother tongue is Hindi. But I do have some beginner and super beginner videos. Yuri, let you know that I have recently made a video which will be posting soon. You asked for a video about the alphabet and the sounds, and that will be posting soon. But for the live, I might talk a little fast when I'm live. But thank you so much. My speech is clear, a bit fast. And yeah, I'm getting a little less nervous. It was a new thing to try to go live on the mobile phone because it's hard to see. It's hard to see all the chat, and it's hard to see what I'm showing you because it's bright. It's very bright from the sun here. I'm wearing the sunglasses because the sun bothers my eyes. So it was a new thing. I've done live at home where it's controlled conditions and I can see really well. But I've never done this with the mobile phone before. So thank you everyone for being understanding. It can be a little difficult to do something new, which this is new, going live at the beach on a mobile phone. So thank you all. I hope everyone learned a little bit about camping at the beach, about different kinds of campers we have. We have some campers that you drive that are like a mobile home kind of thing. Yeah, I even understand. Oh, I'm sorry, this goes away. The little speech things goes away. Yes, I even understand, okay, when the speech is faster. So that's good that you can understand that. And so we have all kinds of different, if you walked around here, there are some campers that are made from old school buses that have been converted. There are some campers that are made from vans that have been converted. There's like a VW Bug that has the top of it pops up to be a bed, and lots of different tents here. There are huge campers that you will pull with your trucks and some that you drive. So there's all kinds of different, it's very interesting to see all the different kinds of things that people bring. And maybe I'll just make a video that I'll not post live to show some of the different, that might be something I do. We'll see. I got 2 weeks off and maybe I have the mobile phone. I could probably make a video and show all kinds of different campers that they have here. It's very interesting. So thank you everyone for joining. Let me know in the chat other topics you'd like for live. Let me know if you've gone camping before and if you've camped in a tent before, a camper or a cabin. I've done all those things. I'd love to know where people have camped, their experiences. And if you have other topics that you'd like for me to do a live on, please let me know and I'll definitely consider. I love talking, as you can see, and I can talk about just about anything. So let me know and make sure you hit the like and let other people know. If they're learning English, let them know about the channel as well and share that. So thank you all, and I am going to sign out as soon as I can figure out how to stop this. But thank you, and thank you, Helena, so much for joining all the way from Siberia. Thank you, Yori, and thank you everyone from India and somebody that came from the UK. Thank you so much. I'm very excited. Finally got somebody from the UK. All right, thank you all.